to have self-discipline doesn't promote personal freedom. So I would say, or my question to you is, how would you explain that dichotomy?
So I like the wise saying, if we don't know our history, we are doomed to repeat it. And how to see how mistakes have been done in the past, it can really help us better ourselves and develop morals and character, because no matter how many restrictions a government may try to impose on a society, it's really up to the character of the citizens to do what is right. And if they're not grounded in truth, and if they're not grounded in morals, then no matter what laws they're going to be, they're just going to disobey them, which would lead to a very chaotic society.
Lauren, one of the elements that you tackled in your paper was how the dystopian society is missing true, genuine leisure. And you made an interesting connection between leisure and wonder. Could you draw out for us a little bit? What is perhaps the connection between leisure and virtue, or between wonder and virtue?
Yeah, of course. So there's a certain part in the book whenever Montag is talking to Faber, the retired professor, and he's talking about how they took away front porches because people would just sit out on their front porch and simply do nothing, and they were basically just left with themselves and their thoughts. And the government didn't want that, because whenever someone starts to have leisure where they're doing nothing and they're left to their thoughts, they can develop new ideas and they can think about different things, which is not what the government wanted. They wanted everyone to be the same. And leisure and virtue are connected, because you can't really reflect upon yourself unless you're alone, and you're taken away from this busy, chaotic world for however long. And so it's really for self-reflection, to see how you can better yourself and think about things you have done, and only think about how you can get better from there.
One of the most eye-opening moments, I believe, for Montag is when Clarice asked him, "Are you happy?" So I was hoping that you could say or speak to some of the characteristics of true happiness and what must be present in one's life to obtain it.
So in the book, Ray Bradbury very much agrees with the founding fathers of what true happiness is, and we know that because he's putting words of the founding fathers in his character's mouth. And I found a quote from John Adams when he talks about, no matter what a society may try to do or what a government may try to do, true happiness consists in virtue. And so it really depends on the citizens and their to strive for excellence and to pursue truth and to really become the best version of yourself that you can become.
In your paper, you also discussed how books contain essential knowledge for society to flourish, as well as truths about morality that can shape an individual into a virtuous human being. How can we be discerning when we read about morality in books, and how can we learn morality through books?
That's a really good question. For me personally, I like to trust the judgment of people above me, for like my teachers. For instance, the books we read in Founders, I know they are great classical books, and then history books, for instance, we can always learn something for something that's been done before us. And it's kind of a tricky thing in this society today, because so many books can be popular and you're not sure is it popular because it contains truth and it's good, or is it popular because we have a distorted view of what is actually good. So I would say, like, trusting people who you know are very credible and would have a good opinion on those things.
So we're going to end with a fun question. So you end your paper here with the words of a home without books is like a body without soul. So what books would be in your metaphorical soul? Or what books have impacted you?
So I'm a Christian and a follower of Christ, so the Bible would probably be number one. And a book I've really enjoyed reading, and that has really changed my thoughts on a lot of things, I would say would be The Scarlet Letter. That book has taught me a lot about how people sin, but you should always show them forgiveness, and how if you don't forgive, that can really affect more people than just yourself and the person who has sinned. And also To Kill a Mockingbird is also one of my favorites. It's taught me a lot about innocence and the loss of innocence, how that can be a good or a bad thing, and also just to be forgiving and treat people with kindness no matter what the situation may be.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Lauren.